YouTube. This is Acid Root. So this is part 3 of the Super Mario Flash playthrough. So in this particular episode, it's basically the concept of this. It's one of those fortress stages within the appeal. There's at least 2 of these. But really within the concept here, it's just kind of a pitch. It's just the typical kind of drifting, just within the fare behind it, just to have to say. I mean, this is more just having to do with repetition more so than anything else about it. This, like when I was talking about some of the earlier episodes with some of this being a royal pain, it's kind of the concept that the main thing about it is just the pitch that you just don't get many chances here. The concept with there not being any mid-level checkpoints or anything like that, this is kind of the pitch that it just really deals with more of like a flawless run more so than anything else. So you just have to pay attention. It kind of takes that fashion of like Lost Levels where you just don't get like the context of being able to have like some extra type fares. Just some pitches that kind of have that particular thing about it. But yeah, I just look after it here. So I'm kind of in question as to whether or not I would want, and you probably want to have at least a power up within some of these type of factions, because there is like a certain area, just, yeah, there's a boss character, so it's just kind of, that's really difficult to get. I think that's just extraordinarily kind of difficult to get past with like small Mario as far as those fares happen, or small Luigi, whichever, but you just look after it, just being able to say, like, it just, I mean, normally when you say within the fashion, it's kind of like noob type push about it to just get hit when you're big and then just run past the villain with like invincibility frames or pitches like that. But it's just that's pretty much the only thing you can do with this particular game, because it's not to the point where it's just slop as far as doing it, but the fare behind it is just not designed within the context of really being able. I mean, I just question like if most folks would be able to get past that particular enemy, at least in this game. And the controls about this game are just a little bit more slog-dish just within the pitch of being able to do that. So it's just kind of, I mean, this is what I talk about with this game being like a bastard and a half. It's just kind of the pitch behind it. It's something to know going in that there's just going to be, especially with the keyboard, I don't know what sort of godsend type motherfucker you'd have to be able to do like this particular stage on a keyboard with just one hit only as small Mario. It's just probably very unlikely. But I look after here, and it's just, that's what I was talking about. This is just stage 5 of 10. So obviously the last stage is the same boss fight within the pitch, but just a little bit trickier. And I don't know if King Koopa throws hammers like he does in Super Mario Brothers. He might. I don't remember. It's been several weeks since I watched like the particular walkthrough of this, but just being able to say, it just seems like something that might happen is that the boss would probably throw hammers just like he does in the end of the game. But he's kind of has the fair behind. So yeah, I mean, for the entertainment of it, I mean, this has the aspect of just being able to say it's the jolly little jaunt here, but you just have to realize what's the concept is kind of about it. But and yeah, it's just, and that's another thing is they kind of like they didn't full bound position that, but just that having that particular stone just one frame down kind of makes it a little bit annoying. Because imagine that concept if I defeated that boss and then jumped and fell in the pit, as far as those fares can have, fell in the lava, just in the aspect, wouldn't have been too pretty. I probably would have been rather annoyed, especially considering I think I only had 1 life left, so I just, I don't like that kind of try. I don't like, some video games will do that. I don't know what y'all think about that in particular, just the concept of when you beat the boss or something like that and you still have to open the door and there's like a pit there or something like that. It's not every single person that will fall into like a pit. They have to jump across the pit once they beat the enemy, but there's enough people, they beat the game, and then it just doesn't end like that. The stage doesn't end. It still expects you to do that last little bit, and that can be kind of catchy just because the trolling is that last 99.9% of the trolling through the game just to say, hey, you better do this too. And it's just kind of, that's a royal pain, you just have that particular context about it. But yeah, so died in stage 6, and that stage really is not as bad, I'd have to say. But the problem with it is, I don't know, oh yeah, the reason why I had to do stage 5 again is because I pressed the A button on, that's the thing, if you press the A button when you're on these stages, that's another thing that's kind of annoying, is you will go back to those stages. So I basically could have done stage 6 if I had not pressed the A button, but it just reverts you back to that stage, and I wasn't able to beat it again, so it's just, so I was just like, fuck it, that, between that happening and the other thing happening, that just kind of pissed me off, and I just said, fuck it. But I just look after it here, I probably could have beaten stage 6, it would have been the actual aspect behind it. I think if I had like another life or something like that, would have been within the fair, but I'm definitely not going to be able to do this without, I was just like, screw it. So that's the context about it. So that's the playthrough as far as those fares can happen. I might try to fire this up again within those aspects, just depending upon what happens, but it's just a good aspect here to get some of this, so just enjoy this with a few brews, pizzas, something like that, enjoy the times and some pitches. But yeah, decent little playthrough here, but that's the thing.